When landowners arrange with the Phippsburg Land Trust to preserve their special places, they know the trust will steward the land for generations to come. Everyone in this film worked with board member Dan Dowd to make the McKay and Dooley trails, but as you will see, they have made many other contributions. Some carry on a family legacy started by early Phippsburg Land Trust founders, and others are enthusiastic newcomers. We celebrate you all. The Beihauer Forest Trails were created by Jan and Nanda Beihauer with help from family, including grandson Levi.
The first trail work of my life as a child was going out with Opa Jan into the woods to build those trails on the Beihauer Preserve. For a little while there, I was guiding some walks on the Beihauer Forest Preserve trails and showing people all the notable landmarks that my grandfather Jan really wanted to make sure everyone knew about.
The trails go by the 100-foot rock, a waterfall that's beautiful in every season and enjoyed by generations of the Beihauer family and many, many visitors. The trails are stewarded by Jim and Elna Joseph and other family members and young people in training. One of the favorite features in the Beihauer Preserve is a large stand of mountain laurel. In recent years, it has become infested with whiteflies and a fungus. In order to combat these diseases, a workday was organized to spray neem oil and prune the stand.
And I ended up seeing this article in the 1910 paper about the mountain laurel in Phippsburg that hardly anyone knows about. But it was one of like 3 places where there was mountain laurel, and I think it may be the only one left. And it was described as old mountain laurel in 1910. So it's really, really old mountain laurel now. So I feel really honored to kind of be a part of trying to keep it going.
Is this just the example of this plant at the northern limit of its range? Or when this land was being homesteaded, did someone actually bring it from further south and carefully shepherd the little tiny plant up here? And then we have this, well, massive plant that isn't terribly happy right now, but we're gonna hopefully make it happier.
Charlie Cummings, I'm here because my sister asked me to come down and help.
Well, this is the 3rd time that I visited the preserve. I sort of discovered it for myself last summer and was very surprised at some of the cool things. So I was happy to hear that the Land Trust has volunteer opportunities.
Hi, my name is Haley, and we're very glad to be able to come here. So we thought we'd help out.
There's a lot of really special and beautiful places in Maine, and only a few of them are like that next level extra special, you know, places that you will never forget. And it's nice to be helping out at a really extra special place like this.
Well, I moved to Phippsburg about a year ago, and I started hiking on the Trust trails and fell in love with them, and thought if there's an opportunity to help keep this going, I want to be involved.
As a result of all their good work, there is new, healthy growth on the plants, so we're optimistic.
I think we probably started doing stuff in the schools about 10 years ago. Studying the forest was part of the curriculum in the 3rd grade. So I thought, well, we could take them on field trips to our preserves. So we started doing that. We started to have these nature field trips. And then I was meeting with the teachers, and it became clear that they really wanted to use the woods behind the school more, but they didn't know how. There were trails out there, but they got improved. We cleaned it up. We actually set up a small sort of casual classroom where we had seats made out of natural materials. And eventually that evolved into some blackboards that were put up there and some tables.
So last I spoke to you all via video, we were walking through the McKay Trail, which at the time was pretty much only laid out but not cleared. And through a bunch of efforts with a bunch of volunteers, we were able to clear, blaze that entire trail, and then put up signs. So now, if you want to visit the McKay Farm Preserve, which is a really great hike, which will probably take you 3.5, 4 hours round trip from the Center Pond Cooley Preserve parking lot, you can do so because of the help of all those volunteers. And this time last year, the Dooley Preserve was kind of just in its rough stages, and through, again, really large efforts from the volunteers this year, we were able to complete this trail for your enjoyment. Again, it's a loop trail which can be accessed from the northern part of the Red Loop on the Ridgewell Preserve. You can travel in either direction. It's actually a very flat, easy hike. Probably the most challenging part to getting to Dooley Farm Preserve is climbing into Ridgewell from the Ridgewell parking lot.
When Dan told me that he needed someone to help volunteer, I was very excited. I've never been a part of trail building before, and it's been such a fun experience. It's been very rewarding.
We're on the western edge of the northern section of the Parkerhead Swamp, and because there are so few trees, we have come up with a new blazing method, which is orange snow stakes. And I just want to give another shout out to all of the volunteers who really worked hard and were committed to getting this done.
Dan Dowd called and said, would you like to do some blazing and some help on the trail, because the trail was in its infancy. And so we brought our loppers and our clippers, and we joined him and Marcia Beach on a trail walk, a lot of which we had to cut through to get to. And it was exhilarating just to see the new land and see a new perspective, which we had not seen before. We've done trail work on Ridgewell and Sprague, but this was a new one for us. We're Mainers by choice, and no sooner had we moved here when we started to meet some really interesting people involved with the Land Trust. And it was shortly thereafter I was asked if I would like to serve, and I was just overjoyed, because for me, being in Maine means being outside. So I was really honored to be included, and it's just a labor of love, really.
And Andy and I used to walk this eastern border of the Land Trust, the Cooley property. And over 14 years, we basically made a trail. It runs along the stone wall that's the eastern border of the Land Trust property, and then it goes along a pretty little stream down there and connects with the trail next to the beaver pond down below. It's pretty nice because there wasn't really any eastern trail. You know, the next trail is way, way, way over there. I see the pink blazes they've put them on there, so it looks like the trail is about ready to be real. So that's very exciting.
Oh, my name is Marcia Beach. I am one of the stewards of the Phippsburg Land Trust. I've been doing it for maybe 4 or so years. I'm what you call a worker bee. I'm one of those people who tell me the tasks that you want me to do, and I'm willing to go out and do it. The thing I love about the Land Trust is that it accommodates people of a wide range of ages, skill sets, you name it, they'll say, come do what you can. A lot of what we do is Zen-like to me, even though we slog around a lot. For example, I love blazing. And especially the trail that I'm in charge of, the Elbow Hill Trail, is a very small one. So blazing there is a very different experience than if you're doing a large parcel, because I can just take my time. And the beauty of the land trust is that you work with surrounding landowners, and that's just what Elbow Hill Trail is. It's a small, under half-mile loop trail, and then you have neighbors surrounding you, and it's that accommodation with people who've lived here for a long time, respecting their properties, but also enjoying the beauty of even this little trail.
I want to make a special shout out to Jeff and Brent, our sign makers, who are the guys that made those really great green signs with the white lettering that tell you where to go on the trails. Without those, of course, many of us would be lost. So thanks everyone very much for your time and all your hard work. Really appreciate it.
I met with Jeff Muse and Brent Spooner to learn about how they made their signs.
First, it was an obvious need that was not being met, and you know, there were a couple signs being made by people, but there were so many more that were needed. Yeah. This process is not original with me. I think Bob Cummings wrote something up about it, and I pretty much follow that. I lay it out so that hopefully I miss most of the knots and stuff. And you just do this. And then I take the router. Once, and we probably did 120, 130 signs by now. Yeah, probably every preserve has some of our signs on it. And there's always more, because things, you know, we replace signs that we find are rotting.
Gives me this product. It's raw wood. I prime it with white. I paint with this green, stain, let that dry. Sometimes that requires 2 coats. And now we're going to paint in the letters in white. And then it usually runs over a bit.
Year's been the centennial of my dad's birth, and my dad was one of the few people who a long time ago worked on starting the Phippsburg Land Trust. After he passed unexpectedly in 1998, the Jack Stewardship Fund was created. This is a fund which is the largest unrestricted fund that the Phippsburg Land Trust has, that they can reduce the fund by paying for things such as parking lots, signage, bridges, things that are really important to the land trust. As we move forward to our capital campaign, what better way to start that out than to focus on stewardship through the Jack White Stewardship Fund. It's kind of a way for us to let everyone know the Phippsburg Land Trust is alive and kicking, and in the next several years is going to make a concerted effort to raise money for the land trust.